What if I told you that a decision you make today could be connected to your eternity? The Bible speaks of the body, the soul, and the final destiny. But what happens when that body is reduced to ashes? More and more people are choosing cremation. It is estimated that in a few years, more than 70% will prefer it over traditional burial. But there is a question that few dare to answer. Will this affect the resurrection promised by God? This topic isn't just practical, it's spiritual. And in this video, we're going to answer the questions many have avoided. What is cremation really? What does the Bible say? Can it prevent a believer from being resurrected? And most importantly, what should you consider before making that decision? Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you authorize your own cremation? Stay until the end, because this message could change your perspective and your destiny. Cremation isn't just fire. It's a complex process. The body is placed in an oven that reaches temperatures of over 800 degrees. For hours, the heat consumes flesh, organs, and tissues. In the end, only bone fragments remain. These are ground into dust, odorless, carbonless dust, dust to which we will return. Genesis 3:19 says it clearly, "Dust you are, and to dust you shall return." Cremation seems to echo that truth. A return to the origin, to the earth, to our fragility. For this reason, some consider it a symbolic and ecological way of honoring the human body. But not everything is symbolic. The Bible also shows us that the body is a temple, that it will be resurrected. So, is it wrong to burn it? Is it dishonoring what God created? Share this video if you've ever asked yourself that question, because we're going to answer it with truth, respect, and in the light of the Word. The Bible doesn't give an explicit command about whether we should bury or cremate, but it does offer clues. In many passages, burial is a symbol of honor. Abraham bought a cave for Sarah. Joseph asked that her bones be taken to the promised land. Burial was seen as sacred, an act of love and respect. But there are also cases of cremation. In 1 Samuel 31, the bodies of Saul and his sons were burned and then buried. Why? They were probably mutilated. There was no dignified way to bury them, as was customary. Cremation, in that case, was an act of respect, not a lack of faith. This shows us something important. Context matters. Sometimes the way the body is disposed of reflects circumstances more than spirituality. Have you ever wondered if fire is always negative in the Bible? Then stay tuned. What's coming next will surprise you. In the Bible, fire doesn't always represent punishment. It's also a symbol of purification and divine presence. Moses saw God in a burning bush. Elijah prayed and fire came down from heaven. God's fire consumes, yes, but it also transforms. However, there are other passages that depict bodies being burned as punishment. Genesis 38 mentions a death sentence by fire. Numbers 16 speaks of 250 men consumed for their rebellion. In these cases, fire isn't a ritual, it's judgment. So how do you know if cremation is acceptable? Is it a sin, or is it a valid option depending on the context and the heart with which it's done? Don't answer yet. There's a deeper truth, and it has to do with the resurrection body and God's promise, like if this message makes you think. Because what's coming could change the way you view death and eternal life. Many fear that once cremated, they will never be resurrected. But the Bible teaches something astonishing. In 1 Corinthians 15, the Apostle Paul says that our bodies will be changed. The corruptible will be clothed with incorruption. The mortal will be clothed with immortality. It doesn't matter whether the body was buried, cremated, or lost at sea. God has the power to restore everything. The resurrection doesn't depend on physical condition. It depends on the eternal promise of a God who gives life where there is death. Jesus said, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if they die, will live." This is the foundation of our faith. Not the way the body returns to dust, but the certainty of being raised in glory. Do you believe this too? Write in the comments if this truth has brought peace to your heart, because there's one last question left, and it's the most personal of all. I'm a Christian, and I'm considering cremation. What should I consider? First, seek the guidance of your faith. What does your church teach? Some denominations allow it, others don't. The important thing is that your decision reflects respect, conviction, and not fear. Second, talk to your family. Death is also an act of love for those left behind. Express your wishes. Listen to theirs. You'll avoid unnecessary confusion and pain. Third, remember the essential. Your body is just a container. Your soul belongs to God. It's not how you return to dust. It's the faith you lived with. The Bible doesn't prohibit cremation, nor does it require it. What it asks is that you live with hope, that you trust in the one who conquered death. Subscribe if this message spoke to your heart. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this truth, because the resurrection is real, and so is eternal life.